Hey guys, I'm here with Tom,
Hi.
and today we have this awesome 3 Series wagon. So if you wouldn't mind telling me a little about the car, and we'll jump into
So
it.
it's a 2014 F31 Wagon, Alpine white. Clearly is not on stock suspension anymore. So yeah, I bought it a little while ago and been having fun with it ever since.
So Tom, I guess this car is obviously not stock. So if you wouldn't mind, maybe tell me and show me around the car, and I guess with the modifications you've done, and
Yeah.
show me what you've done through the life that you've had it.
Yeah, so it's on Airlift 3P, bags and management, and then on some Apex Arc 8s, AWE Sport exhaust, and in-gen intake. So mostly bone stock engine bay in here. Like I said, engine intake, which makes some nice turbo sounds. Then you got the N20 4-cylinder turbo with the electronic wastegate. So it's fun, fast enough, and gets good gas mileage.
Awesome, man. That's really important, especially with gas prices.
Amen.
Especially in Michigan.
Just 93.
Yeah.
So we got the Airlift 3P in the back with a spray painted tank just to hide it more. Underneath the floor, we got a 440C Vivair pump, and then our manifold. It just drains out the bottom. Super quiet, can't even hear it in the car. And then it's the 3P, so adjustable through Bluetooth controller up front. I got 120 PSI in the rear for my daily driver, 55 in the front. And then when I'm trying to be cool, like 90 in the rear and 40 in the front. So that's impossible to turn, but it looks great.
So, what's the process for trying to figure out the right pressures?
Yeah, basically what I did is I went around the car while I was setting up my pressures and got it as low as possible without rubbing on the fender liners or rubbing on anything, any of the body parts of the car, especially in the front when you can turn the wheel. I didn't want it to clip the fender and baking up the fenders at all. So I made sure that I had a good clearance, that I could still drive it, and maybe scrape a little bit, but not too much. So. All right, so on the inside, it's a pretty well optioned car. So we have the cold weather package, M Sport package, and I think the sound package or something like that. So I have the M Sport steering wheel, M Sport seats with adjustable bolsters, 2 memories, you name it, all that good stuff. Front and rear heated seats with the cold weather package, and then the foldable rear seats. I got the upgraded Harman Kardon stereo. It has the fog lights and the upgraded headlights as well. So those turn with the steering wheel, which is nice. I also have the heads-up display in this as well. It won't be on right now, but that's another cool aspect. On the front end, we're pretty simple, just some carbon fiber grills, and like I said, the headlights, which make all the difference with the angel eyes and turning with the steering wheel, and fog lights turning on when you turn to the left or right. It's a blast, and an aggressive M Sport front bumper.
And what I want to ask, I guess, to start with is what made you want to get a 3 Series wagon? What kind of started your love of these?
So to be honest, it was completely unintentional. I actually had bought a 2011 wagon on a whim just because it was cheap and I thought it looked cool. And I've always had a love for wagons too, I guess. And I just had recently sold it, and I was looking for a newer, like an F-Gen car. I didn't even know that they made a wagon in the F-Gens. And I was browsing for 335s in Detroit. And ended up somehow working my way over to New York. And through that, I actually saw unintentionally a white M Sport 328D wagon. And I took a screenshot of it and I sent it to my dad. And that then led me to want to go make a trip and go to New York and whatever. But that trip ended up falling through. I didn't end up making it out that way, but I found this one that popped up, and it was the 328i, which piqued my interest, being a little less fuel efficient, but faster and probably a little more what I was looking for. So I found this one up in Traverse City, and I ended up getting the car delivered to me at my house for less than asking.
And was it Fox Motors? Like, was it Fox BMW or anything?
No, it was a private seller.
Oh, okay, nice.
Private seller. So yeah, it was awesome.
Like, how does the car handle on bags to start with?
Yeah, so when I had it on stock suspension, that was my one fear, is, I have the stock M Sport suspension. It's going to be tuned really well to the car. I was on stock wheels and tires at the time when I bought it. And so I was nervous going to bags. I'd heard they feel floaty and they don't feel as good. But I was like, I want bags. Like, I'm never going to track my car. What am I going to be doing with it? Like the classic, what are you going to be doing with it 99% of the time? Daily driving it. The other is, back road driving and having some fun, catching up with my friends or, whatever it may be. So I wanted something that could hang with them in the corners and whatnot. So I was nervous going to bags. But when I put the bags on and started to drive it and actually hit some good corners in it, I actually realized, honestly, it feels just like it's on coilovers. It's a little more floaty on the road, but through the corners, you really don't notice a difference at all. It's super stiff. There's no body roll. No, I've never had mushy problems or anything like that with it. It feels like it's on rails. Honestly, it feels better than it was on stock suspension. So I'm so glad I changed. It's stiffer, it's lower, it's cooler, it handles just as well. And then, having the ability to go, up and down on the bags. When it's parked, it looks awesome and everyone freaks out. But then when I'm driving, it's like I'm driving a normal car. So for daily driving in the snow, you name it. They're fantastic. I've plowed through 8 inches of snow with the xDrive, and I, have parked up at car meets and everyone's jaw dropped. So, bags are really the best of both worlds between coilovers and, stock suspension, having the stock ride height, but also having a little more stiffness and, still some comfort while you're driving.
So what led you to kind of choose this specific bag setup, like the brand and everything?
So I would say Airlift is probably the biggest one. And I, funnily enough, I found some management for a really good deal. And that led me, it was used management, but it doesn't matter. It's all the same. And I was like, what if I bought used management and then just bought the struts separate? So that's what I ended up doing. And so I got bags for like $2,000 off. And I was like, Airlift, it's the best. I would say one of the most common ones on the market. And one of the few companies that, make it specific for an F31 BMW. So that's really why I went for the Airlift. Just the brand, they're local to us. So, support a local company and, use one of the biggest brands out there.
So I guess continue on the suspension side of things. What's the wheel and tire setup and what made you choose that as well?
So they're Apex Arc 8s, probably the most common BMW wheel you can possibly get. I always had dreamed of, funnily enough, Arc 8s on an E46 M3 or really any BMW for that reason. So I knew I wanted to go Apex wheels. I knew that I wanted monoblocks, and I knew that I wanted something that was a little bit more of a daily driver wheel and tire setup. So I actually ended up doing 18s instead of 19s with a little more sidewall. So I have a 235/45 18 on it. They're Continental DWS Contact Pro or
I had
something.
those on my 335.
Yeah. Fantastic tire. I love it. I mean, it's fantastic in the snow, rain, and handles really well in the summer. I mean, it's an all-season tire with no downsides. So I put those on, just so I could have a little bit, more shock absorption against the struts, and so that I could have a daily driver where I can, blow through a pothole and not worry too much about it, just in case. But I do want 19s. I 2-piece 19s, 3-piece 19s are next on the list, but those will only be the summer wheels, and then these will be the all-the-time wheels.
That'd be sweet. That's like a dream of mine.
Yeah.
For the E30.
Mm-hmm.
I am gonna have to bag the E30. That'd be so cool.
Yeah, I don't think you have any other option. I think that's your only option now.
What are some things about the wagon? Like I'd say, like, what are maybe your top 3 things you really like about this specific car?
That's an easy one. So one, I just love the look of a wagon. My dream car growing up was a 08 to 14 STI hatchback. Now it's not quite a wagon, but it's close enough. And so actually, when I was 18, I ended up buying a white 08 hatchback, building the motor, and having my fun. Yeah, right.
Yeah.
So I had my fun in that car. And ever since then, I always loved wagons, and they're uncommon in the U.S. They're always hard to find, and specifically the BMW. So when I bought my 2011 BMW Wagon, it was awesome. Like, I got a bunch of compliments on how cool my car was, and everyone loved it. But when I bought this, it was really the look. I mean, there's just something about wagons that sets them apart from, just your normal 328i, sedan. So the look is one. I mean, that's the reason, the ultimate reason that I bought a wagon instead of, your bog standard 328. 2 is the really, like, the daily ability on it. I mean, I drive home from work, I can throw a dresser in the back of it, I can, carry 4 or 5 people very comfortably with a bunch of stuff, and then, I guess just the amount of attention I get, since they're so uncommon. I mean, I can't even count the amount of people I've had come up to me and say, oh my gosh, I've never seen something like that before, that's so awesome, blah, blah, blah. And, you have all the car enthusiasts that are, freaking out about it whenever they see, no way, a wagon, like, whoa, and then you air out. It's pretty awesome. It's you build a car to get attention, and this one gets attention without, looking relatively stock on some wheels. So it's really fun. I mean, I've had some crazy cars, and never have I ever had anywhere near as much attention as I get in this thing.
How do you think, like, the tech is kind of holding up as you daily drive this? Do you think, like, the iDrive is decent still?
Well, I don't really use the iDrive much. I usually, the audio works well, the Bluetooth, you name it. It works well. It has its annoying quirks where your phone connects when you don't want it to, and then it won't disconnect. The maps suck. Some of the features are kind of cool. Like, right now I have my torque and power gauges on it, so if I floor it or downshift, it'll show a different amount of torque or horsepower that it's using.
Especially 320, like, that's pretty decent. That's like 335 level, like the last gen.
Right. Yeah. And that's what they say is, like, this is like the engine that replaced the N54 and N55. Like, it's smaller, yes. It's a little more simple to work on, I guess, apparently. I don't really believe that, but maybe. It's more fuel efficient. It's a little more reliable. And it makes the same power as a 335 now. It can't make like, you know, 700 wheel horse if you upgrade the turbo, but you know, it can make some pretty serious power. And I mean, you know, it's the same thing. Like you drop a tune in it, intake, exhaust, and you know, it'll be a quick daily, that's for sure.
What is I guess you kind of already did mention something, but I guess is there anything else you don't like about the car?
Honestly, no. I can't think of a single thing that I don't like about the car other than the iDrive. I like to have it. And the Bluetooth connected. Oh, wait, no. One other nitpicky thing. The locks on the car. I don't always keep my key in me. Like when I park it in the garage, I leave the key in the car. And only the driver door will unlock. And it's just kind of a problem specific to bags, but if I need to like grab something out of the back of the car, I have to either hit the unlock button before I get out of the car and go back there, or if I forget to, I have to open the door, lean down, reach in through the steering wheel, and then hit the unlock button, and then I can get into the back. So it's really annoying for like I gotta throw my work backpack in the back seat or whatever it may be, and that is really annoying. Otherwise, nothing. I can honestly say there's nothing else that I dislike about this car. Yeah.
What are some future modifications you'd like to do to this
car? Exterior wise, I would love to do just a simple splitter on it, just to get that extra low. It's only 1.5 inches off the ground as it sits, but it'd be awesome to just fill in the front just a little bit better, and really finish out the M front bumper. I don't think there's anything else I would touch on the exterior. I kind of unmodified it almost a little bit. I took carbon fiber mirror caps off because I preferred the white ones. I guess that's it, actually. It's the only thing I unmodified that came on the car. But I love the exhaust. It's perfect. It's perfect. There's no drone. It sounds good. It has the right, burbles and pops and, everything that I want. I might do a downpipe and a tune on it eventually. Just get a little bit of extra horsepower. And who knows, maybe a turbo will go in there too. If I'm doing the downpipe, I might as well do a turbo. So I think Denon makes some sweet ones that they just continued, actually. There's a bunch of options. It's a really popular platform to modify. So there's a lot of different options out there. And a little bit bigger turbo that doesn't choke as much up top. And 50 more, 60 more horse, whatever that may be, would make this car phenomenal.
Thanks for watching the video. Make sure to subscribe to the channel. Check out Tom. I'm gonna put his Instagram in the description below. And anyways, thanks for having me, man.
Yeah, man, absolutely, anytime.
Awesome. Sounds good. All right, catch you guys later.